All right. I think the room is settled. We are ready to get started. You probably noticed that we are recording to make sure that we can send this to you as a follow-up. We'll post the video to YouTube, so we'll be sure to send that link out to you as part of our follow-up. And of course, if you're eating lunch, please continue to do so. If you have questions as I'm talking, feel free to just throw them into the chat, and I will make sure I keep an eye on that. My colleague Tara has joined us. She is our director of high school recruitment. And so she's going to make sure behind the scenes all is up and running. And she actually set up our event for today. So just want to say thank you to her. My name is Bobby Gandu. I'm Associate Vice Provost for Strategic Enrollment Initiatives and Director of Admissions at Wichita State. So aside from having a really long title, I will be your MC and your host today in terms of going through our slides and telling you all about Wichita State. Just a couple of housekeeping things as I get started. I did want to mention again that we are recording this. But and additionally, I think some of our schools and districts had a bit of a barrier put up in terms of us being able to land emails with all of you. So apologize if there was a challenge on the link, but thank you for bearing with us. And hopefully when we send the follow-up, those emails will go through. I know we did send another email about 15 minutes ago to make sure we had the right link out there. So that being said, the other thing that my friend Tara wanted me to do was challenge me to learn how to present in Teams. I'm used to Zoom meetings. So bear with me if I screw something up here. Obviously, we're all in good fun and good colleagues here. So my point is I want to just make sure we answer questions about Wichita State. So with that being said, I'm going to get going. I will warn you, and I'll probably warn you again before I start my first video. The videos seem to lag just a little bit, about 5 seconds of choppiness here in Teams, but then it smooths out after that. So if the first several seconds are tough, just bear with us and hopefully it'll smooth out as I go. So that being said, whoops, a slide will go backwards. There we go. Okay, I think you're catching us at the right time at Wichita State. Wichita State's been around for 130 years, and the last 5 semesters, 5 fall semesters, have been the largest 5 freshman classes in the university's history. So what we think that means is students are responding well to the things that we're offering in terms of our academic programs, our student life, our on-campus living, and also our internship experience. And you're going to hear a lot about that today. We've also been the #1 transfer destination in the state of Kansas for the last 14 years in a row. And what that means is that students, of course, may start at a 2-year college in Kansas, but then they are transferring to us at a higher volume than any other university in the state of Kansas. And on top of that, the data also shows that students are transferring away from other 4-year universities to Wichita State here in Kansas at a higher rate than other universities. So really, again, we just feel like that means we're offering the right blend of programs and opportunities for students. And so my hope is that we convey that in some way to you during our presentation today. To keep up with that enrollment growth, we have invested very heavily in our campus infrastructure. We have put more than $600 million into our campus community and our footprint to make sure we have new residence halls, new shopping, new restaurants, and of course, new academic buildings and opportunities for collaboration. So you'll hear more about that as we go. And through all that enrollment growth and then also this investment in campus infrastructure, we've been able to maintain the claim as the #1 most affordable research university in Kansas. And for many of you who are from out of state, it's very likely or at least possible that your students would qualify for a tuition discount. So we could still be very affordable for those of you who are joining us from out of state. To get you better acquainted with all that Wichita State has to offer, here's a quick slide that probably captures a few highlights. We are a medium-sized university, about 18,400 students is what we announced this past fall, the largest enrollment in the university's 130-year history, and that's a record we've broken 3 times over, 3 years in a row now. Obviously, a wide variety of majors, areas of study that we'll talk a little bit about today. In terms of where we're situated, Wichita State is located in the largest city in Kansas, excuse me, with claims to fame like the top 10 best places to live, most affordable city, a great foodie city, happy grads, and one of the sunnier cities as well. And so we think that means and translates to is our students not only get to take advantage of a collegiate environment, but also get to take advantage of all the many things going on in an urban community in a city our size. I like to tell students and families who sometimes are from larger towns that they don't have to trade their experience in college. That if they want a college atmosphere and environment, of course, we provide that. But if they are looking for a larger urban environment too, we can also provide that in terms of concerts, events, cultural attractions, festivals. Great things come to our community, and our students get to take advantage of all of those things. We've also been ranked nationally in some of the U.S. News and World Report categories, so you see that here. So things that we are continuing to work on and address for our students. You can also see our freshman averages. I'll talk a little bit more about what our incoming freshman class looks like a little bit later. But we are an urban serving research university. We are oriented toward access, and so we're really proud of that. We celebrate the students who land at Wichita State. We're not necessarily looking to boost our selectivity, so something that I hope you'll see as we move forward. So to get you better acquainted with Wichita State, I want to expose you to something that we were a part of about a year ago. The Amazon Prime streaming series, The College Tour, came to our campus and filmed a full episode. So if you're not familiar with this, the gentleman who's kind of in the center wearing a black shirt, if you can see my cursor, his name is Alex Boylan. Alex is the celebrity host. He was the winner of the second season of The Amazing Race, if you watch that show. He has since parlayed that into about a 200 episode show where they go to different colleges all over the country and spotlight that particular university for airing on Amazon Prime. Well, Wichita State's episode just aired this past spring and summer, and so I'm pleased to bring with me today a quick 2-minute segment from our video. Our episode, by the way, is available now on Amazon Prime, or it's available at the website that you see on your screen here. It's an hour long. I'm not going to show you all of the clips, just have a 2-minute segment to share with you for today, but know that all of the other clips are available on the website. Here's a particular clip that showcases the connection between our city and the university. And again, bear with us just a few seconds. It may be choppy at the beginning, but it should smooth out as we go.
We have the distinguished honor to hear from Wichita Mayor Lily Wu. Mayor Wu is a 2007 graduate of Wichita State, and she continues to work with the university in her official capacity to strengthen partnerships and support the growth and development of Wichita and its institutions. Mayor Wu, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Alex. It's my honor to welcome you to my hometown of Wichita, Kansas. I arrived here as an 8-year-old immigrant from Guatemala and now serve as the city's 103rd mayor. I'm living proof that anything is possible in the air capital of the world. In 2003, I was blessed to start my collegiate journey at Wichita State and was awarded the Distinguished Full Ride Core Scholarship. I majored in international business and integrated marketing communication. While at Wichita State, I gained hands-on experience at WSU-TV and internships at the Hayes Company and Koch Industries. I appreciate the connections and opportunities that Wichita State provided me through mentors and student organizations. The connections I made and the community involvement I experienced during my years at Wichita State helped me to lead Kansas's largest city. Wichita is a global city that celebrates cultural diversity with festivals like Riverfest, the Tallgrass Film Festival, and the Wichita Asian Festival showcasing our vibrant community. We have amazing food festivals, and our city offers more than 1,200 restaurants, from global cuisine to local breweries and coffee shops that make Wichita a foodie paradise. Wichita State's commitment to our community is also evident in the $300 million investment in healthcare through the Wichita Biomedical Campus. I'm proud of the limitless opportunities Wichita State students enjoy. Here in Wichita, your dreams are possible. Wichita State students are connected to a community where they can reach their full potential. They can work alongside professionals in internships and paid applied learning experiences on and off campus. I'd like to invite more people to join Shocker Nation and choose Wichita to live, work, and raise a family. Thanks for visiting us, Alex. Back to you.
All right, Mayor Lily Wu, recalling her experience at Wichita State. All right, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. I know you all are really busy and you probably want to know what is it that might make Wichita State stand out as compared to the hundreds and thousands of other colleges out there. Well, we think it's this focus on accelerating Shocker careers, or really our focus is more so on applied learning. We guarantee every single one of our students an opportunity to showcase what they have learned in the classroom out into the real world setting, meaning that if they are a nursing major, of course, they'll have a clinical rotation. If they are a biology major, it may mean that they have a research opportunity. If they're a business major, maybe they have an internship with the largest accounting firm in the state of Kansas, located here in downtown Wichita. Or if they're an engineering major, perhaps it's an opportunity to intern at one of dozens of aerospace engineering companies that are based here in the greater Wichita area. So you get the point. We really focus on this. We guarantee every single student an applied learning experience before they graduate. We think it's important because when our students are interviewing for their first job after college or interviewing for med school or law school, we want them to not only demonstrate what they learned in the classroom, we want them to be able to show their grades, their transcript, and that they have completed all the required courses. But just as important, we want to make sure they have demonstrated to the person they're interviewing with how they have applied that knowledge in a real world setting. So you see here several pictures of our students and our grads and some of their respective internship experiences. My friend Aaliyah is at the top left there. She attended one of the Mays high schools outside the Wichita area. And Aaliyah was a sport management and communication major with us. And so, amongst the many internships she held down as a student, one of them was with the NBA franchise, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So she was able to have a great experience working for them one semester. She has since graduated from Wichita State. She went on to Columbia to do her graduate work, Columbia University, in the Ivy League. And then since then, she's graduated from Columbia, and now she works doing social media and freelancing for brands like the WNBA. So really great experience for her. My friend Journey is next to her in the top middle there. Journey was a dental hygiene major with us. We, of course, have a dental hygiene clinic here on our campus where our students are actively learning their craft on patients. At the lower left is Natalie. Natalie is from just outside the Topeka area here in Kansas. Natalie was a marketing major with us, and she had aspirations to go work for major brands and major large companies. So her summer internship before her senior year was to go out to Rhode Island and work for Hasbro, major toy manufacturer. So her experience included working with big brands like Star Wars, Mr. Potato Head, Transformers, G.I. Joe. And I know she had a wonderful experience. She has since graduated from Wichita State and is working professionally as well. And then last story I'll highlight is Alicio. Alicio was an engineering major with us. Alicio is pictured on the lower right there with Northrop Grumman. That was his internship after his freshman year out in California. He had a really good experience there. He finished up his degree at Wichita State. He has since graduated just this past May, and now he works for Lockheed Martin in Orlando, Florida. So really, this is what we focus on. We have a whole team called the Shocker Career Accelerator, where it's their role, their collective roles, to make sure that we are helping our students with their LinkedIn profiles, their internships, their interview skills, and making sure that they are interview ready and job ready when they are out in the field. And in fact, Wichita State, we've really doubled down on this in the last couple of years. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, no kidding, Bobby, engineering, business, those are all easy internships, if you will. Well, for us, we also set aside $4 million to support students who are in majors where maybe in many cases, traditionally, they are in unpaid internships. So you see a few examples of that here at the lower bullet: creative writing, teacher education, social work, graphic design, amongst others. I want to take just a few seconds to expand on the teacher education one. This is what I'm really proud of. Here in the state of Kansas, typically our students who are in their final semester in the teacher education program, when they are student teaching at an actual school, at an actual district, they are typically unpaid. In fact, I think there are even some rules and regulations about them being paid. So that being said, oftentimes when our students are working out in a school district during that final semester, they are often quitting the job that they already had because they're so focused on student teaching during that last semester. Well, last year we set aside $500,000 to make sure that our 80 students who were seniors doing their student teaching semester last year were getting paid instead of taking an unpaid experience through student teaching. So we're really proud of that. We worked really hard to provide that experience for our students. And this year we're doing the same thing. We set aside about $500,000 to make sure our 80 plus students who are seniors this year are also going to get paid for that experience. To bring this point home further, I have a quick video to showcase it further.
Howdy everyone, my name is Lauren Kaufman and I'm from Blanchard, Oklahoma studying biomedical engineering with a minor in mathematics. Since I was a little girl, I've dreamt of shooting for the stars and working for NASA. Seeing my dad work for NASA inspired me to pursue a career in space innovation. After touring NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, I was determined to achieve my dream of biomedical research for human spaceflight. I knew it was important to get experience early on in college to stand out among the thousands of NASA internship applicants. I discussed my goals with Dr. Youngkook Lee, who later offered me a research position in his lab focused on cardiovascular studies involving photoplasmography, which was later supported through a NASA research grant. This experience led to an internship opportunity with the Translational Research Institute for Space Health. In this role, I supported biomedical hardware to collect data from commercial spaceflight. In fall 2024, I was accepted to the NASA Co-op program, where I worked with the Human Health and Performance Directorate. I was handed meaningful work on my first day and even finished an actigraphy device design set to support the International Space Station and Artemis missions. The early career experience Wichita State provides is unparalleled and exactly why I chose to become a shocker. Wichita State has not only jump-started my career, but also provided many memories that will last a lifetime. Winning multiple intramural basketball championships, playing flag football, taking relaxing walks around campus, and sharing late-night study sessions alongside my friends are memories from Wichita that I will always cherish. My time as a shocker has been so meaningful and impactful that my little brother has also been inspired to attend WSU this fall. I have 3 more internships planned before my graduation, with my next one being in the Flight Operations Directorate, where I will work with daily crew support and procedure development. My plans after graduation include working at Johnson Space Center. My advice for prospective students is to get experience early, as it can open so many doors. Wichita State is such an amazing place to grow, learn, and chase your dreams. I encourage all future shockers to shoot for the stars and go Shocks.
All right, that's Lauren's story. So far we've talked a lot about internships and opportunities in other communities, and I want to make sure you know that actually our greatest concentration of students who are getting real world experience is right here on our campus. So on the slide I'm showing you right now, if I extended this map out or this graphic out, you would see our entire 330-acre campus. I'm really just showcasing about 120 acres of our campus right now. Well, this 120 acres that you're seeing, 10 years ago, this used to be an 18-hole golf course. Back then, 10 years ago, our president at the time decided to make a really courageous decision, upset a lot of local golfers, and close the golf course. And in its place, we have stood up our innovation campus. All of the buildings that you see in yellow or green are finished, open, they're being utilized every day. There's 2 buildings that are in white that are under construction right now, and there's a handful of buildings that are kind of in a brown color, and those are like future projects. But ultimately, what we have done on our innovation campus is we have brought all of these companies, organizations, government agencies with logos that you see here to our campus, and they actually have space on our campus. Just about all of them are employing full-time professionals working on our campus every day. Airbus, as kind of our leading example of this, they're located in building 22 in about the center of the map in green. Well, Airbus, about 8 or 9 years ago, moved into a brand new building here on our campus. They had been located downtown in Wichita. They had about 300 professionals working there. Well, when they got situated on our campus, we agreed to give them the space. We partnered with them and we gave them the space. But with the expectation that they are going to hire our students for internships and applied learning opportunities. And so that's exactly what's happened, not just for Airbus, but for all of these companies and organizations. In order for them to have the space that they have on our campus, they have to hire our students for opportunities. So that being said, I have another graphic here that showcases this a little further. The top right there is Deloitte Smart Factory. So I'm sure many of us have heard of Deloitte. It's a major global consulting company. And ultimately, they decided to build their smart factory. There's only 4 of these in the world. This is the only one in the United States, and it's the only one on a college campus. They are showcasing the latest in factory technology to their partners and clients who come to Wichita, Kansas. Well, our students actually have an opportunity to work for Deloitte and showcase that technology, so giving them really great experience. The top left is NetApp. NetApp is a Fortune 600 company. They deal in computer data, storage, those kinds of things. They have a 600-person full-time professional operation on our campus, and they are currently employing about 80 of our students to work alongside them. The lower left is maybe a little less to do with our innovation campus. It's just a fun story that I like to tell. Many of you may recognize these. They're becoming more and more common, but we were the first university in Kansas to have food delivery robots. So what you see here, where it says "Hungry, I deliver to Shockers," it does exactly that. So we actually started a couple of years ago with 13 of these food delivery robots. We started with 13. Unfortunately, a bus hit one of them, we think. And so we're down to like 12 robots. Well, last year, these robots made 12,000 deliveries all over our 330-acre campus. If you're not familiar with these Starship robots, essentially what they do is anyone, student, faculty, staff member, can download an app, and for a $3 charge, they can have their Chick-fil-A, their Freddy's, their Starbucks. We have a few other restaurants on campus. Those can all the food can be ordered online or through the app, and then essentially the food gets delivered to the outside of the building that you're at. And then you push a button on your app, and a song of your choice starts playing, and then you get to lift your warm food out of that container there. So these little robots are like our pets all over campus. People help them out, and they're always looking out for them if they get stuck. So to talk or to explain more about our innovation campus, I have a quick video. One of our staff members calls that our most intense video, so hopefully you might agree with that. All right, moving on. So after we made this big bet on in our innovation campus, we really knew we had to get better in terms of student outcomes and success. So to be frank with you, many of our students are first generation, many of them are low income. So we knew that with all this enrollment growth, we needed to provide resources to help our students be successful. And so I have a slide that's going to talk to you a little bit about some of those outcomes. But before I get to that slide, I want to showcase a big investment Wichita State made. We put $17 million into a building right here in the middle of campus that's marked with red. It's right next to our student center, so it's in a really high traffic area. Essentially what we did was we located all of these services that you see here on the left-hand side into this building that's marked in red. Previously, those services, there's about 17, so they're not even all listed here, but all of these services were located in about 12 different buildings marked in yellow all over this campus map. Well, we realized that if we co-locate all of these services in one building, if a student needs help from our math lab, they might also need help from our writing center, or maybe they need to go visit our physics help desk. Or perhaps they needed to visit our Shocker support locker, where we provide free food, personal hygiene items, and school supplies. Well, the power of referrals has really kicked in for our students and our professionals working out of that building. So now our students are able to tap all of those resources and many others located very centrally in a brand new $17 million facility that our students are really spending a lot of time in, both to access those resources I mentioned, and frankly, just to hang out and study too. It's kind of become almost another student center for our students to enjoy. So let's talk a little bit about outcomes. I know as college counselors and helping folks with their college search process, one of the most common questions I get when I meet with folks like you all is, That all sounds great, your flashy buildings and all the things, but let's talk about what you're doing to help our students be successful. So I'm proud to tell you that we've really focused on this the last several years. In fact, we took a 6% increase in our year over year retention just in the last handful of years alone. And on top of that, that's not listed on the slide, we took another increase in our retention just this past fall semester. We've done that through a myriad of ways, one of which has been the implementation of a large number of what we call preseason programs. So those are intentional opportunities for students to move to campus before the school semester starts, in some cases a week before, in some cases a little bit more, where they are exposed to folks in their academic college. They are exposed to other students in similar majors, and really are given an opportunity to build their network, to get familiar with campus, and also get some additional academic support before the school semester starts. So we've received really good feedback from our students. And in fact, as you might guess, our students who have participated in those preseason programs, they retain at a higher rate and have higher GPAs as well. So we've seen great success with that. We also have a program called Navigate, and essentially that allows our faculty to intervene, our academic advisors, our career coaches, and many other professionals on campus to intervene if they are concerned about a student, if a student hasn't been showing up to class, if they haven't been showing up to appointments. It's really kind of about casework, meaning that individual students are assigned a case or a load of professionals who are really managing individual cases to make sure our students are reaching their academic outcomes. We've also worked really hard to make sure we have increasing scholarship support for our students. Typically, if a student does have to leave Wichita State, it's financial. That's the number one reason our students cite. So we've really worked to increase our financial support to students. And then I talked earlier about those applied learning funds. We're trying to make sure we help students financially, particularly if they're in majors that are a little undersubscribed in terms of paid opportunities. So pivoting forward, let's talk a little bit about housing. So I'm proud to tell you today that here on our campus, we have probably the newest collection of residence halls in the state of Kansas, but probably also in the Midwest. So we do have 3 residence halls on our campus. We prioritize freshmen on-campus living for students who would be coming to us straight out of high school. So the 2 dorms that I'm highlighting here on the left are Shocker Hall and the Suites at Wichita State. Amongst our 3 dorms, they're basically all 10 years or younger in terms of their age. So it's a very modern on-campus living experience, as we explain to students, and I think they realize once they're here, it feels a little bit more like a hotel than a traditional dorm experience that some of us may have had when we went to college. If any of you shared a bathroom with 30 of your 40 of your closest friends when you were in college, bad news, we don't have that experience at Wichita State. All of our bathrooms and restrooms are community style, meaning that, or suite style, I should say, meaning that you are sharing a bathroom with 1 to 3 other people in your suite, depending on how many people are in your suite and kind of what room layout that you have. Here with Shocker Hall, at the top, this is the most common layout that we offer in Shocker Hall. We have about 800 beds there. So you can see, obviously, every student has their own kind of living quarter, if you will, with their own bed, their own dresser, their own desk, and a small privacy wall so they don't have to stare at their roommate as they're sleeping. But then each student also gets their own closet and then their own sink. And then they're just sharing that bathroom with 1 to 3 other people, again, depending on how many people are in their suite. The cost that you're seeing here, by the way, is all inclusive of the furniture, all you can eat meals in our dining hall, plus some extra money to utilize at Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, Starbucks, etc. And then laundry and kitchen expenses are included. Students just have to essentially do their own laundry, but and also provide their own detergent. But aside from that, we provide the costs or the machines at no extra cost. The suites at Wichita State is the newest dorm that we offer. It's a great experience. The price point's a little bit higher, but it's because every student basically has a private bedroom with a door that closes, and the beds are full size here. So it's a little bit more of an enhanced experience in this particular option for students. So it's very popular. This particular dorm is less than 5 minutes walking from a Starbucks, from an on-campus YMCA, which you'll see a little bit later. So really, it's a first-class experience. Plus, laundry is included in the suite itself. So students don't have to carry their laundry down the hall or anything like that. So I will note that for any of you who have seniors who are looking at Wichita State, our housing application opened on October 1st, and the sweet spot for students to apply for housing is between October 1st and December 1st. Those students get the first choice when we open room selection in the spring. In terms of what students have to put down during that period or that timeline is they would have to put down $275, $75 of which is not refundable. But if they decide that another institution is a better fit for them, as long as they notify us by June 1st, we will provide $200 back to them. So we think that's a pretty fair deal. So that being said, moving forward away from housing, I want to make sure I talk quickly about our application or admission application process. We have a admission application that's native to the website that you'll see there, wichita.edu/apply, but we're also on Common App. So if you are encouraging your students to utilize that, certainly encourage them to add us to that. We do have a $40 application fee for any of your students who are on free or reduced lunch, or if they are a member of a TRIO program or an AVID program, we will automatically waive that application fee, and it's actually baked into the admission application just based off how your students are answering the questions. So in other words, you don't have to provide us with anything to verify that your student could qualify for the application fee waiver. The other good news, hopefully for counselors, is you don't have to provide us with any transcripts for the most part. Your students can self-report their GPA, their ACT and SAT scores. If they don't have those things, or if we need additional information, if we need a transcript, we will reach out to your student and ask for that. But for the most part, you won't need to provide those things. We can provide holistic review for students who don't meet our GPA or ACT requirements. So you can see the criteria there. As I mentioned earlier, we are not a selective school. We're really proud of the access we provide students. We accept more than 90% of the students who apply for admission. So for us, it's not about selectivity or being, proud of the number of students we deny. It's really about celebrating the students who land at Wichita State and find us as the best fit. And we want to make sure we help them reach their personal and professional dreams. So that's who we are at Wichita State. So speaking of our identity, this is something that's really important to our president. And if he was here today, I know he would spend a lot of time visiting with you about this. This showcases how important value is for our identity. We have provided here in-state tuition rates for large research universities here in the Midwest, including Wichita State. And you can see where we fall in terms of our price point. We are the most affordable research university in the state of Kansas, and really in the Midwest, considering that most of your students who are from the Midwest, and if you're from one of our discount communities, which I'll show you here in just a second, your students will qualify not only for in-state tuition rates or at least a discount, they will also potentially qualify for freshman merit scholarships too. So you can see that here. Just to give ballpark some of our costs for residents of Kansas or those who are on kind of our in-state rate plan, students will pay roughly $10,000 a year for 30 hours, 15 in the fall, 15 in the spring. And so that's the entry point. If students are taking certain courses with labs or college fees, those would be extra. But for in-state rates, that's about $10,000 a year. And then out-of-state students, if they have to pay full out-of-state rates, it's about $20,000 plus a year. So we are the most affordable research university. Here's how we can be really affordable for those of you who might preside from one of these respective communities that you see here. We promise and provide in-state tuition rates for the students who are from these larger metro areas here in the Midwest. And the good news is there's no application they have to complete, there's no academic requirements, and it's good the entire time that they are at Wichita State. So if they want to pursue a graduate degree, they would also get in-state rates if they qualify based off of where they live. So you can see the website here. It's really based off the county that students live in. So at the lower right-hand side there, you see wichita.edu/shocker savings. This kind of highlights further which counties are eligible, but really for the most part, we're using U.S. Census definition of metropolitan areas and able to provide in-state tuition rates to all these students. For students who may not qualify for those tuition discounts and perhaps they're from a different area outside that urban area, then students could still qualify for a pretty healthy tuition discount that would save them about $6,200 a year off of out-of-state tuition. So you can see, again, same URL would provide that to you, that information to you. The good news is that if students qualify for any of these tuition discounts or Midwest Student Exchange Program, that's also another program that we're a member of, then they will still qualify for scholarships. If they qualify for a tuition discount, they also will qualify potentially for scholarships, of course, depending on their GPA and or their ACT/SAT. So we do provide GPA only scholarships, and you can see those going across the top here. If your student is able to provide us with a standardized test score, then chances are they may qualify for a higher scholarship package. So you can see those here. In order for students to be considered for these opportunities, they really just have to apply for admission. We will automatically consider them for scholarships based off of what they have entered on their admission application. And in fact, we have already put about $5 million in scholarship offers out on the street for students in terms of them receiving their award letters already for next year. So this is really just the starting point for scholarships. We always tell students that if you are a student who has been really focused on their academic experience, perhaps even leadership activities in their school, there are some additional opportunities. This is one major example. We do provide $364,000 to students who meet one of the 4 criteria that you see listed here. And these are for students in any major. This particular scholarship, called the Gore Scholarship, is offered through our Distinguished Scholarship Invitational. It's a scholarship competition that occurs on Saturday in November. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So it's a great way for students to come to campus. There will be about 500 to 600 other students competing for this particular opportunity. We provide $364,000 awards, but the good news is for students who finish in the top 100, which is roughly our semifinalist breakdown, they will receive a package as well. So try to tell students and families that yes, we only offer 3 of these really large ones at $64,000. But the good news is if you're in the top 100, then you're going to get a scholarship offer just from competing in this particular competition. So in order to be considered for this, students have to be admitted, and then they have to meet the criteria. Then there will be some additional materials they have to submit by November 10th. So that is coming up, obviously. Then we have many other scholarship competitions. Many of them are the Friday before that November competition on that Saturday that I mentioned. So it's good news for folks who need to come in from out of town. They could, for example, compete in our business school's $50,000 business scholarship competition, and then stay the night and then compete in our larger distinguished scholarship invitational for the $64,000 award. So they can make it a whole weekend. And it's also a great way to complete your college visit. We find that of the 500 to 600 students who participate in our large scholarship competition every year, about 60 to 70% of them are enrolling. We think that's because they're getting to see campus, they're engaging with our academic colleges and our faculty. And really, I think the most powerful part of this is they're meeting future classmates, future roommates, other students who are interested in Wichita State. So it's really creating a shared experience for them to get to know one another and very likely future classmates. So the business one I've already mentioned, but we have many other scholarships listed here. We have a couple that are specifically for entrepreneurship majors that measure at $36,400. We have 10 engineering scholarships valued above $30,000. We have a particular scholarship available for students who are interested in teaching math or science. So you see that listed here. So the list goes on. I will mention that we do offer a $50,000 package for any of your students who might be National Merit Scholars or finalists when they reach that stage. They just really have to indicate that Wichita State is their number one choice. It's a $50,000 award over 4 years. The first year is a $20,000 award to help them with their on-campus living expenses. So that's a little bit about that. We offer many other scholarship opportunities. I'm going to buzz through these, but I do want to note that these are for very specific populations. So just make sure you read the fine print on these. I will also mention, in addition to the recording, we'll send this slide deck out to you as a PDF so you can look at it later and look at the specific details. But here in Kansas, in the state of Kansas, if your students qualify, if they're residents and they qualify for all of the things that you see listed here, then it's a very good chance they could qualify for our Shocker Promise, which is full tuition and fees. And for those students who don't live in our immediate surrounding county, then they could qualify for a housing stipend as well. So really attractive opportunity for students. So you can see the website there. This is also only for Kansas students. This is a private foundation called the Rudd Foundation. They provide 50 full ride scholarships every year to high school seniors in Kansas. Students have to be attending one of four partner universities. In Wichita State, we are one of those partner universities. In fact, we have more Rudd Scholars than any other institution in the state of Kansas. We have more than 60 attending Wichita State right now. So you can see the requirements for this. Again, this is just Kansas students only. I do want to mention for any of my Kansas City counselors out there who might be serving students in that community, we are a member of the KC Scholars Program. And so we have several KC Scholars at Wichita State now. We just joined the partnership. So moving forward and away from scholarships, just want to kind of talk about Wichita State's next big bet. So I've told you the big bet of the Innovation Campus, our investment in student success. These are our next big bets. We have something called Shocker Studios, which is about 15 minutes from our main campus. And in its place out at Shocker Studios, we house our media arts programs, which includes animation, filmmaking, game design, audio production, acting for the digital arts. We have all of those programs. 5 years ago, we did not have that program. We had zero majors, zero students in all of those majors. Now, 5 years later, we have that program. We have a major studio. We have 450 students from all over the country studying in this program. The latest technological advancement in that particular facility is something called an LED volume wall, where essentially our students have a real opportunity to use the latest in film, or excuse me, in digital technology in terms of those of us who are a little older, we're used to the green screen technology. So these days, actors can actually use kind of a full screen behind them. This is the same technology that the Batman, the House of Dragon, Game of Thrones, those kinds of shows are utilizing these days. What's really cool about it is it's actually located in our studio. A company actually put it in our studio because they are bringing real projects and clients to that studio where our students are getting to work on those real projects and work with those clients. Woolsey Hall has been a wonderful addition to our innovation campus. It's a $65 million business school building. It's really the jewel of campus. It's won all kinds of architecture awards and other things in terms of its unique layout, but it's been really well received for our business majors. So if you know a student who wants to be able to study in perhaps one of the newest business schools in the Midwest, this is probably a really great option for them. We also have an affiliation with the YMCA. So the Greater Wichita YMCA is actually really well known nationally. They have 11 facilities in our community. Our students can utilize any of the 11 YMCAs in the Greater Wichita area. It's just kind of baked into the cost of being a student. So one of their newest ones is located right on our campus. Our students get to utilize it, and that's where you're seeing all these pictures. But again, students can use the other 10 that are in the Greater Wichita YMCA network. Plus, it's considered a national membership. So for any students who are visiting back home for Thanksgiving, wherever home may be, if there is a YMCA there, then the odds are really good that they can utilize their Wichita State YMCA membership back home during Thanksgiving or holiday breaks as well. This is Wichita State's next big bet. This is the biomedical campus. So we kind of took a lay of the land several years ago, and we knew that all of our existing medical programs, like our physician associate, our nursing, our physical therapy, many other programs, they were in aging facilities. University of Kansas had a med school and a pharmacy school here in the city of Wichita as well. So we actually worked together. We went to our state legislature and said, if we agree to be in the same building and work together, what do you think about investing in a new space for us? And the legislators agreed. They totally funded and supported the idea of us working together in a new facility. So that being said, we are in full construction mode right now on a building that is going to be about a 500,000 square feet in downtown Wichita. It's a $300 million project. And eventually, by the time it opens in spring 2027 and beyond, we expect to see 3,000 students in medical programs studying in downtown Wichita. So what's really important to note is this is not just about combining into a physical space, but it's about co-educating too. So we all, when we go to visit a hospital, we are not just seen by a doctor or a nurse or a physical therapist, right? We are seen by all of them treating us in concert for the best possible patient outcome. So the question is, why aren't we educating like that too? We need to educate in the same way that we treat. So that being said, the first floor of the biomedical campus course, is this clinical space that you're seeing here. And this is the space where our students will be partnering with students from the University of Kansas Med School and Pharmacy School to make sure we are treating students, or excuse me, treating patients in that shared educational setting. So we're really excited about this. This is going to be transformational for the city of Wichita and South Central Kansas. By the way, the Blue Cross Blue Shield here in Kansas, they just gave that $2.5 million for us to have that clinical space there that you see. Here's a few other renderings of what this space is going to look like. We're incredibly excited about this. This is a huge bet for us at Wichita State and also with our partner at the University of Kansas to make sure we are transforming healthcare in our community. All right, moving forward. So I always push student life towards the very end. So I just want to make sure I highlight this. We are NCAA Division One. We are a member of the American Conference. So we are playing against teams like Memphis, University of North Texas, Tulane, several other schools like that. So for the most part, we're in larger urban cities and our students are able to be exposed to those communities through their competitions. Students get free athletic tickets to all of our home competitions. So our students are able to cheer on their fellow classmates. We've had Final Four runs as recently as last year. Our women's bowling team made it to the NCAA Final Four. Men's basketball team made it to the Final Four back in 2013 as well. So I obviously have lots of pictures here of our student life and the opportunities we have here. But to do you better, I've got a quick video that showcases the first 2 weeks of our student life at Wichita State called Welcome Fest. That is our Welcome Fest experience. So slides are jumping now. Last couple of things before I end our event. Of course, we would welcome you to join us for a campus tour if you ever find yourself in Wichita, Kansas, or even if you're just down the street from us and you don't feel like you've seen our campus recently, we'd certainly welcome you, your students, to join us. For your students, we're available Monday through Friday. We also have an occasional Saturday program. It's not our favorite way to showcase campus. There's just fewer people around and we can't provide as many appointments. But if, of course, we understand sometimes Saturdays are the only days that work for families, so we want to accommodate them. So you can see the URL for that. If you want to go a little further virtually, we have a robust virtual tour as well, so you can see the link for that with lots of views of things that we didn't even have a chance to showcase today. And then finally, we have a whole cadre of admissions reps who work out of both Wichita and many other communities as well. We have 4 admissions reps based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We have 3 based in the Kansas City area. We have 2 based in Oklahoma. So we are really working hard to reach students in those respective communities and many others. So would encourage you to, we weren't going to put a giant slide up that showcased like what school and all the things. So really, if you're not sure, just hit us on that email address and we'll make sure we get you connected directly with the rep. And of course, we'd love to come out for a visit if it's in a community that we're already serving, or if there's some special opportunities, we can consider those as well. All right, I think I've covered it. I'm happy to answer questions if there are any. You're welcome to unmute and ask them verbally, or if you just want to throw them in the chat, that's fine too. I do want to take a second to acknowledge my colleague Tara. I mentioned at the start, she planned and organized all of this for us. She works really hard. I don't often have many opportunities to thank her publicly for all of her good work throughout the course of a year. So thank you, Tara, for all you do for us at Wichita State. Tara, did I miss anything? Is there anything you would add?
No, I think you covered it. Thanks, Bobby.
Okay. I'm not seeing any questions. And so we did promise all of you for joining us today that we'll be sure to send you along a Shocker t-shirt as just a small thanks for joining us. So we'll be sure to get those out in the mail to you. And I know we collected your sizes as part of the registration process. So, Okay, not seeing any questions. We're going to let you all enjoy the last little bit of your lunch hour. So I hope all of you enjoy the rest of your fall semester. Take great care of yourself, and thanks for spending some time with us at Wichita State today. Oh, do you have a quick question I'll answer? Do you have a preference between Common App or your personal app? No, we really don't. We're happy to accept either. The personal app, I will say the wichita.edu/apply, that app is really simple. We've received really good feedback. So it's perhaps, a little less clunky just because we're not married to the Common App setup. So if you want efficiency, I would certainly recommend that wichita.edu/apply app. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Take care.